Hey, I'm Bill Richardson. I retired after 32 years of being a firefighter paramedic.
Hello, and welcome to the Redirect Podcast, where we have spirited conversations and tell stories about finding purpose in retirement. For us, retirement isn't an ending, it's a beginning. Time to redirect your energy, wisdom, and passion toward new horizons. Whether you've recently retired, are planning for that transition, or are years into this journey, this podcast is your companion in navigating this meaningful chapter of life. Guys, welcome back. We're back in the studio today, and I just came off a quick trip to see my grandkids, and something hit me that I'm really interested to get your input on. For whatever reason, they love fire trucks. They dressed for Halloween in fire outfits.
That's cool.
My son, I remember when he was like 4 or 5, dressed like a fireman and loved the outfits that he used to get, and they all had fire trucks. It brought me back to, like, what did I want to be when I grew up? But I'm going to throw the question out to you. Curt, what did you want to be when you grew up?
What did I want to be when I grew up? I wanted to be a pilot. And you know, again, as a little kid, I can, jets, noise, the size of them, the speed of them, just to be able to fly in the sky. It's so much bigger than what I was, and that was sort of a dream.
That's cool. For me, I wanted to be a dentist. Oh, wait, that's not right. I think that's a Christmas special coming up, I think. No, for whatever kooky reason, I wanted to be an architect. I didn't understand.
Wow.
Yeah.
You knew what an architect was.
Yeah, at like 5 years old, I wanted to be an architect. Now, that faded quickly, but I think as we've talked about in previous episodes, I think there's always been a maker mentality in me. Like, I like building things, whether it's ethereal, systematic, or actual structural. I like building things. So, but back to your thing about fire trucks, Dale. Yeah. It is interesting that for the most part, people, young boys especially, fall on kind of one of two lines. They wanted to be firefighters or they wanted to be cops. And I'm very interested in talking to today's guest on, why firefighters are so much better than cops. But we'll let him talk about that.
And just to throw this in, yesterday I babysat my granddaughter, and we walked into the room where they had all, and lo and behold, she pulls out a fire truck.
That's awesome.
And she's hitting the lights and the sound and the big ladder and just amazing. So there is something about fire, being a fire person. I'm really interested in finding out more about.
When you're a kid and you see this big red truck that's got this great engine sound, and then they turn on the lights, and you see these guys waving and throwing you candy. Of course a little kid's going to want to be a fireman, right? Yeah. I mean, just the machine itself is just such a great drawing card to, look at me and just, it's just so big and awesome. It's so cool.
We can sit around here and guess.
Yeah,
I'd rather
speaking
go
of
right
awesome,
to the expert.
Speaking of awesome, today's friend of the Redirect Podcast is a really good friend of mine, Bill Richardson. Bill and I first connected at Couples Camp, a camp that's not necessarily directly hosted by Crossroads, but very closely affiliated. I also work alongside Bill and a couple of other couples. Bill and his wife, Jo Marie, my wife, Sandy, and I, along with Dan and Leslie McManus and Mike and Dawn Wagner, host a couples group at Crossroads on Tuesday nights. So if you are a couple looking to get some connection and draw closer to each other and closer to God, come to Oakley on Tuesday nights. Bill has been married for 32 years to his wife, Jo Marie. They have 3 adult children and 3 grandkids and 1 on the way. Congratulations,
awesome.
Bill, for that. For 32 years, Bill served as a firefighter and paramedic and has been retired since 2019. So retired 5 or 6 years ago, right? And has been retired since 54 years old. That's crazy. I think that's a good goal for a lot of us, right? I'm 54. I would like to retire.
Yeah.
So, Bill,
you did it.
Welcome to the Redirect Podcast.
Well, thanks for having me. All right, I'd like to point out that myself and Adam did not go to couples camp together.
I mean, we kind of did.
We were there with our wives.
Yes. Yes.
Us and our wives were the couples. It wasn't us.
Yes. Bill and I, unfortunately, Bill and I slept in separate tents.
So, Bill, first of all, thank you for the service that you provided.
No, you're welcome.
The service that you provide is something that is remarkable. When we talk about firemen, it's like those are the guys and gals that go out and help when first response situations, mostly a fire. And I don't know that much about the firemen after that. I don't know how you do your job. I don't know what types of things impact you when you're doing your job. I don't know what it's like after your job, which is why you're here today. So tell me a little bit about being a firefighter, what you loved about it, and why you got into it.
All right, it's funny. When you guys were talking about what you wanted to be when you grew up, that's what I always wanted to be, was a fireman. I started in 87 as a volunteer. Got a career in 1990 with a third service public EMS and was merged into a fire service in 94. So I got my 25 years into the pension system. Had a knee replacement in 17. That's why I retired at 54.
Why do you feel that you needed to jump into burning buildings and using the jaws of life on automobile accidents and all the things that you're jumping in a truck after hearing the alarm and you go in there and you don't know what you're really going to be getting into, but you're doing it?
Now that you phrase it like that, I have no idea.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a fun
It does
idea.
not sound very fun.
But did you want to be a fireman?
Oh, absolutely.
Ever
Did I
since you
realize-
were 3?
3 or 5, yeah, something
Yeah,
like that.
really.
I always did.
So
Don't
what?
ask me why.
Okay, tell me about that 3 or 5-year-old kid. What made the fireman so attractive
The
that you
fire
wanted
truck.
to do? The fire
The
truck.
fire truck. I mean, that was back in the old days before they had cool engines with Jake brakes. It sounded really, really cool. It was the standard shift trucks that ran on gas, and they sounded horrible, but they looked so cool. And these dudes were throwing you candy on Halloween. It's like, man, that's the job I want. I didn't realize, I don't think, what they actually did.
Okay.
But it takes me back to when me and my wife were first dating. She knew I was a paramedic. I met her with my partner. And she realized we were paramedics, thinking we just drove around in ambulances all day. And one night we're out to dinner. She goes, "So you're a fireman?" I'm like, "Sort of, yeah." And she goes, "Does that mean you go into burning buildings?" I'm like, "Occasionally." "Isn't that dumb?" "Yes." yes, it is. Now that you mention it. Thanks for bringing that up. It wasn't until after 9/11 that firemen really started getting respect. And
Interesting.
I'm glad to hear that she is attracted to your vulnerability, like right off the bat. That's pretty. That's pretty cool.
yeah, she pounced right on it. Isn't that stupid? Yeah, okay, it is.
I like
Thanks.
this guy.
What did you enjoy most about your job as a fireman paramedic?
Honestly, shift change.
Why?
Why every morning you show up 15, 20 minutes before your shift, at least 15 or 20 minutes early for your shift. Otherwise, you're late.
Right.
You get to bash on the crew that's not there, because the crew before you is always the laziest crew, and the crew after you is nothing but a bunch of moaners. So you would make fun of the crew that's not there. You would hang out with the dudes. You're drinking coffee. You're doing your truck checks. You're just bonding.
That's cool.
You spend a good 30 minutes bonding, barring runs.
Yeah.
Then you go to you do your truck checks. We did PT. Our day would go from there. Really miss shift change. I still miss shift change when I wake up.
That's cool.
I was in the grocery store the other day, and there was a big fire truck in the parking lot, and the entire fire crew, it looked like, from the truck is in the store shopping. You shop together too?
We did.
I know.
Yeah, we did.
kinda had
Part
to.
of the deal.
You had to, because if the bell rung, you had to take the truck, right? It's not like you could
Correct.
jump in.
That's
Yeah,
it. So you had to stick together as a group.
Yeah,
Wow.
more than once we have to leave.
Yeah.
We would leave a basket full of groceries at the store, and the grocery store would take care of it, throw in the cooler or whatever until we got back.
So camaraderie is a huge thing. When you get assigned to a firehouse, is there a interview that goes on to make sure that you're going to be a good fit personality-wise with the team, or are you just thrown into it and then whatever happens, happens?
Whatever happens, happens.
Really?
You're interviewed before you're even hired, especially with the smaller departments. When I retired, I think we had about 50 full-time guys. So we were on a smaller side. So that would be weeded out before you were even hired.
Okay.
But yeah, there were definitely personality conflicts. If somebody got assigned from one station to another station, that would happen occasionally. And you would find them by themselves somewhere surfing on their phone. Because,
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we
Misfits.
scared them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
misfits.
Or
It didn't happen that often.
Yeah, because you got to be supportive of one another, because it's like the military. You're going into places that you rely on everybody else's role in that particular activity for your own safety.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if it's a fire, if it's an EMS call. You're always depending on the other person to do their job.
Yeah.
How did you learn?
And the public depends on you to do your job.
Yeah.
How did you learn how to do that? I mean, what did you go through exercises to increase that trust in everybody else?
It just develops over time.
It just developed.
Yeah,
Wow.
when you first get assigned,
Organically.
especially when you're the new guy. Back in 1990, when I was the new guy,
Proby.
yeah, never. That's worse than high school. Being a probie is worse than high school. I still wake up with nightmares being a probie. And you just got to earn trust from the people who've been there.
Yeah.
And you do that by keeping your mouth shut and doing what you're told and doing more.
Yeah.
In an effort to further get into what goes on, after you've come back from this run that you've just done, what is it? Is everybody kind of chilled down, or is everybody talking about how exciting it was, or what goes on afterwards?
That varies from run to run. After a good fire where you put a good stop on it, yeah, people are pumped up and they're ready to go.
Yeah.
Make a bad EMS call, it's complete opposite. You just want to go off, be by yourself a little bit, try to figure out what just happened.
That's tough.
It is.
That would be
Yeah.
really tough.
Those really good fires come by very seldom because we're 90% EMS.
So I do want to talk about that here in just a little bit, because I think there's some elements of that support piece that you live out in retirement now, which I think I want to understand that. But before that, in show prep, you told us a very interesting story relative to your knee replacement that really was a catalyst or a motivator in your retirement. And that's how your knee replacement parts responded in those situations. So tell us about that for a second.
First fire after my knee replacement, that's out for a few months, waiting for surgery. Once the surgery happened, I think at rehab for about 3, maybe 4 months, got back to work. First fire, it got incredibly hot.
Like internally in
It's
your body.
amazing how hot stainless steel gets through bunker gear, through Nomex pants, and all of a sudden I'm like, I think my knee's on fire.
Yeah.
I go outside, take my pants off, and it's like, no, it's fine.
Wow. And
So that
all in
was-
all, it's probably like 1 or 2 degree difference.
Wasn't much.
Yeah, but it feels
I could
like-
feel it, especially when it's inside your gear.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, that's it. I'm going to milk this next 2 years out. I'm just going to retire on time because going through a medical retirement was not something I really wanted to do. When I had my 25 years in less than 2 years. It would take them 2 years to fire me.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Can I assume that since I have a replaced shoulder, hip, fused back, fused neck,
Oh, you would.
that I should not go into
You should not
place
go
of
into
fun?
yeah. With gear on, don't even try it.
This whole episode has made its
It's therapeutic.
value.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not going to any fire.
I don't know how
be
you-
a fire person.
I don't know how you get into a Bengals game going to a metal detector. I mean,
I
you,
go through several.
Yeah. And
you like being wanded.
Everybody looks at me when I go through because everybody's searching me because I'm set off every alarm.
I seldom set off metal detectors.
yeah, me too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you had the hip.
Yeah. And I think the takeaway in this is Dale has learned he should avoid running into burning buildings.
Yes, that's my takeaway
That's a good
right there. In my retirement, I'm not going into any burning buildings.
So
All right.
physical. You talked about psychological. I mean, how do you cope with that? I mean, you see things that not many people see, and that's a part of your job. How did you and your teammates deal with that?
We would talk a little bit about it, but not a whole lot. I would self-medicate.
Okay.
I would go home and self-medicate.
You suppress it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, until sometime later in your career, that was kind of the only option, right? It's not
Yep.
like there was a lot of conversation about support, about health, processing that in a healthy way.
Yeah, we had a call once back in the 90s where we had a regional team come in. being an assistant chief, took over that briefing, and I decided, well, I'm done with the peer support aspect of this job because this is completely ineffective. So that's when I went home, just would start drinking after a bad day. And then that drinking would continue until about 11 o'clock at night when shift changes at 7, so I can drink until 11.
Wow.
Was this something that others also did that
Yes.
you knew about? Okay.
Yeah, you could smell the booze on people a lot.
Wow.
I mean, not a lot. So if you call 911,
But it wasn't
chances
rare.
are somebody's not coming in going to be drunk.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't rare.
It was not rare.
Wow.
So you made a comment about if it wasn't for your knee issue and feeling that discomfort, would you still be working, or do you think that you were?
Yeah, by now I'd be retired.
Okay.
My plan was to drop for 3 or 4 years. That was my actual retirement plan. They have a deferred retirement option
Yeah.
where your retirement money goes into a separate account.
Okay.
You continue to work, but your money starts drawing interest.
Got it. Now again, you made the comment about how you handled the situation, and now that you're retired, and you made a comment about the brotherhood that you have. I read some articles saying that the camaraderie thing is probably the hardest thing to transition from being a firefighter. Is that a safe statement?
That is safe.
All right. So you've got that situation where you miss your buds, which is probably more than a bud. It's probably a second family.
It is. You're with them every third day.
Yeah.
If not more. My last 2 years, I was working so much overtime that I spent more time at the firehouse than I did at home.
Yeah. And then you have the situation where you've got so many things that are inside of you that you're trying to numb them out. And I'm glad that you have overcome that, because that's probably debilitating in itself. Tell us about what happened when you walked away. You're missing your buddies. How did you move on?
Well, the first 6 months was great.
Okay.
I still kept in contact with them on occasion.
You went there sometimes too, right?
Yeah. And I went to California for my first attempt at a 14er within a week.
What does that mean?
14,000-foot mountain. I tried Mount Whitney. I made it to about 13,000 feet. Elevation kicked my butt. I didn't acclimate well enough, so I'm like, this mountain's not going anywhere. I'll come back later and do this. Got home, did a bunch of stuff around the house. It was sorely in need of being done. Got my first buck that year. So my first 6 months of retirement was awesome. Then we're going over to the wedding rehearsal for my daughter's wedding in December 19, and they were talking about a virus in China. And then once COVID started and you start closing down campgrounds, but you leave liquor stores open. Well, guess where I'm going? I guess I'm going to the liquor store because the campground's closed.
Wow.
That's when it became an actual problem.
Man.
But going back when you were thinking about and considering retirement, what was in your mind about what you were going to do? I know what you did.
That's exactly what I
was
was gonna
that
do.
the plan?
I was going to do some mountain climbing. I still want to through hike the AT. I'm going to start off next March with the Shelter We Trace to see if I can be away from my wife for 3 weeks. I like her too much. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
But I got my first 14er in this summer. I did Mount Elbert while we were out in Colorado.
Yep.
That was my game plan. Anything physical.
Yep.
I still want to go pig hunting. I still have not made it to Texas to go pig hunting.
Texas or South Georgia is a good spot. They've got big problems with pigs down there.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
I would love to kill one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a chance a few weeks ago. I was driving, and then like a little small pack of wild boar were running right across the road.
Where at?
Georgia.
In Georgia? You should have taken me with you.
Let's go, man.
I would have defended you from them.
Not that I needed it, but let's go, man. I'm in. So you were shortly after retirement. You went through a kind of a honeymoon phase, as we call it, in your first 6 months.
Yeah, first 6 months was incredible.
Yeah, and then you kind of fall in namely because of COVID. You fall into a bad cycle. I assume you're free of that now. Like, I know the story, but for the listeners,
yes,
you're free of that now. How long did that go on, and how did you break free? Or do you care to share that story?
No, absolutely. Probably summer of 20, the drinking just started, and things that go along with drinking. It went on for 3 years, and it progressively got worse to the point to where Joe Marie was leaving or I was leaving. Didn't matter which one of us was leaving. And on a whim, I'd gone to man camp prior to COVID in 2019. Spot Trail, put on partially through Crossroads. I saw the couples camp advertisement. It's like, hey, hon, you want to go to couples camp? She's like, yeah, whatever.
You initiated that.
I did. I initiated it.
Wow.
And this is like weeks after where I had hit rock bottom, where I had really pondered just no longer being around. We go to couples camp, and starting Friday night, just things were picking at me. Things were just hitting me. The pastor said a couple things that was just really stood out to me. I went out to solitude time and get out of your comfort zone. Here I am now. Saturday evening, we were praying for another couple who was going through just an experience with their children that I would not wish on my worst enemy. We're praying for them, and it hit me. I had an honest-to-goodness physical reaction of the Holy Spirit relieving me of everything that was stressing me. The PTSD, the drinking, the porn, it was gone. I'm not saying it's not a struggle. Still, it's not a struggle.
Yeah,
it's going to be a struggle until the day we die. It's just the way we are.
Still have your flesh.
Yes, but it was gone. It was gone that quick. It took about 6 months for my wife to figure out that it was real. I mean, even post baptism, she's like, "Yeah, whatever. He's going to fall back. He's going to fall back."
So you came into relationship with the Lord
at couples camp.
at Couples Camp 2023.
Yep, and it was astounding. I still can't get over what he's done in my life in the last 2 years, the people he's put in my life in the last 2 years, to where I actually feel like I'm doing more good now than I did as 32 years as a fireman.
That's crazy.
And it really does say a lot because I did some really cool stuff as a fireman.
Time for a quick break. Hello. If you're liking what you're hearing, do us a quick favor. Hit that follow button, share it with your friends and family, drop us a quick comment, and then a 5-star review. It really helps us keep going and growing. Then head over to Instagram and follow us there too. Thanks for the help. And now let's get back to work. So I met you in basically around Couples Camp of 24, which is in the spring. And, we were fast friends, like right away. And
we were fast friends at church.
Right.
We had breakfast together.
And so I've only known this version of you. And when I talk to your wife and the fella you brought to man camp that you used to work with, what was his name again? Jim. He has seen a different version of you. Your wife, obviously, has seen a previous edition of you. And the people whom I talk to and the stories I've heard you tell, you are a completely different person. Now, Jim and Joe Marie would say, like, they're not convinced you're actually the same person, abducted by aliens, whatever. You're a really, really different person since your encounter with the Lord. I'm curious your take. Why is that close to true, and how is that possible?
Ask my daughter, Courtney.
Mm-hmm.
She will tell you the exact same thing. We went to D.C. to see our middle daughter, who's pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Went to go see her, tell her congratulations. We stopped by a camping store, and I'm sitting there just chatting with everybody. And Courtney's looking at Joe Marie going, who is this?
Yeah.
This is not the dad I grew up with. It's not.
Yeah.
This is a completely different dad. I wish I'd have had this back when you were younger, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Completely different person.
In this idea of being a different person, your outlook on life is different. As we like to talk about purpose, your purpose and how you choose to spend your days is very different. How you look at people, how you look at your relationship with your wife, how you look at your responsibility to give back, give out, give forward is completely different. Assuming that's accurate, tell me about that. How is it different?
One, I actually like people now.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't used to like people. Now, because of Jesus' love, I may not like somebody, but I still love them.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just got to cut your losses and maybe stay away from somebody, quit working for them, or quit working for them.
Yeah, working around them.
But it's not you hate them. Me and God do have an agreement on one individual in my past that I still hate, and I would rather punch him in the throat than ever speak to him again. But that's okay.
You've got one?
One.
Wow. Oh, man, I've got like 6.
One of the guys who was on that list, I actually stopped and talked to the other day.
Good for you.
I was out walking. He's out mowing his yard. And I stopped. Hey. Next thing I know, 5 minutes later, we're still talking. I was like, this is weird.
What was that motivation, Bill?
I saw him out mowing the yard. It's like, I could be a jerk. I could just walk past him, ignore him, where I can sit and talk to him.
But Jesus.
But Jesus. Yeah. And that's the only logical explanation is Jesus just leads me to talk to people. He leads me to like people.
So how do you talk about your purpose now? I mean, this is big change. And when you think about it going forward, you know, how do you talk about it?
I don't even know if I think of it as my purpose, but I just want to be a part of what is going on.
Yeah.
Camps is just a huge draw for me. I love volunteering at camps. Any camp that comes along, I'm volunteering for. If I can sneak in there any way, I volunteer for it. I hate mowing grass. I go out to camps and mow grass and smile.
Well, you are driving cool stuff. They've got some big stuff.
Some really. I drove a 120-inch mower not too long ago. Yeah, that was pretty.
Was it red?
Cool. Yeah.
It was red.
Just wondering.
It's
Still driving the fire truck.
It's got a turbocharger on it. Yeah, it did. It kind of reminded me of a fire truck.
Does Joe Marie like you when you ride the mower?
She does. She does.
Turns her.
Well, Joe Marie actually likes this entire version of me much better than.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I bet you like this version of you
I
better.
like this version much better. Back in 23, I want to throw this out there. Back in 23, when I got saved, one of the first things I did is I'd quit talking to people I worked with. A couple weeks later, I called Jim, same guy from camp, and had him and his wife over for dinner. Started hanging out with him again. He gave me a book by Tanya Glenn called Code 4. It's about first responders and their families, and she's a clinician, she specializes in first responders and vets. If there's anybody out there who's struggling, pick up a book by her. She's got several. Tanya Glenn, and she nails it. When I read this book, it's like, I wish I would have read this book about 30 years ago. We gave it to my daughter. She's both our daughters, and they're reading it going, why didn't somebody tell us?
So let's talk about that for a second, because I think it's an element of what you do sometimes in retirement now is this idea of peer support. I assume that's what the book is about.
Yes. Well, it's not so much about peer support. It's about the relationship with the family and the first responder.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, when mom or dad come back from a shift, yeah, they're going to be jerks because.
Yeah.
And then they're giving examples of it, and it goes into why they're having a hard time. Whether it's lack of sleep, whether it's calls they make, whether it's political stuff that goes on around a firehouse or a police station, things like that. It really does. It gives you insight, or this particular book gave us the insight that we wish we'd have had.
It's an expose on what life is like.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about this. If you're okay with it, let's talk about this this peer support idea. What is that, and why is it necessary?
It gives people a sounding board. You may or may not be comfortable talking to your partner about what bothered you on a call, but you have somebody come in that's unrelated. But I've got some. I've got 32 years in. I did some urban search and rescue, so I'm not the best ever. Far from it. Worked with much better people, but I've seen enough stuff that people would give me a little respect, or I wouldn't say respect. What's the word I'm looking for?
Respect sounds like a pretty good one.
Yeah. Anyways, but somebody who's done the job before, who's seen some stuff. Yeah, I can talk to this guy, and I don't know who he is. Mm-hmm. I find it much easier to talk to somebody I don't know when it comes to things that are bothering
Hard
me.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, hard stuff, because, well, who are they going to tell? Doesn't matter. We probably don't know anybody. Yeah, I got my dog trained up as a therapy dog, and she does an excellent job. Whatever you tell her, she doesn't talk.
And so I think we may be glossing over, and I want to be delicate and careful here for the sake of our listeners, the idea of the need for peer support. To some degree in fires, but definitely on the EMS and paramedic side of things, you see stuff that is hard. It's a hard image to shake. And I don't want to speak for you, so talk to us for a second, if you can, about how that affects you and how it lingers with you for a while, and if unaddressed, can cause some problems.
There are some things you see that actually make you physically ill. I've thrown it more than once. And other stuff, it just lingers in the back of your mind. And it could be simple stuff that just is just so unnerving.
Yeah.
I want to say simple stuff. It's not simple because of what just happened. And then you got those calls that just stay with you. I mean, I had several calls that would just stay with me. It always involved young people in water.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. The night that I decided I didn't want to be around anymore, I was at a funeral for a coworker who, the funeral home was on a road where there's a beautiful 20-year-old girl who had been electrocuted in a pool and drowned. That one just completely unnerved me to begin with. And here I am 20 years later looking at that house, and it was everything I could do to not lose it there.
It shook you.
It did. It absolutely shook me. And went home and started drinking that night immediately. Well, okay, that morning.
Mm-hmm.
See, I mean, would peer support would have helped me? Probably. Just being able to vent, get it off my chest. But there was nobody to talk to. You were just expected to go back to your job and then go make the next run. It wasn't too long ago that I've actually heard of companies going out of service after a bad call, getting the help they needed, and they took the rest of the shift off.
Wow.
That was incredible.
So do you think that's likely to be a trend? That's likely to catch some traction?
Yeah, the International Association of Firefighters, that was our union, is really, really pushing it. They're doing free peer support training all over the country. They have rehab facility, the state-of-the-art rehab facilities for people who need it. Mm-hmm. And it's easy to get into. It's all paid for by the union and private donations.
Very cool.
Is that for all first responders or just fire?
I believe it's all first responders.
So, Bill, thank you for sharing on the other part of the firefighter that we normally don't see. And I'm so thankful that you're here. And I'm so thankful that you have a story to tell, not only about your experiences as a fireman, but also your experiences with the Holy Spirit and what he's doing in your life. All the things you talk about and the way you described how you wanted to be a fireman, and it's been a passion of all your life. And I know that I've had stories with you. You said, oh, one time I listened to the radio and I hear this call. It's going to be a good one. And then I show up and it's really nothing. And you sort of go, oh, I wanted to do more.
Or the hurricane support.
Yeah, exactly. That was the story. That was the story. So you have this innate nature in you that is, you got to get out and do things, and you got to do big things. What's it like now that you're not in that environment and you're in this environment that's totally different? You don't have a work week, but your scheduling is different. Your environment is different. Your network of friends are different. So you're a hiker. And what are other things are you doing that keeps that?
This week it's drywall.
It's dry.
I learned how to skim coat this week.
He is excited about that too. Yeah, look,
wow.
I'm not going to lie to you.
I've tried it. I hate it.
I'm not saying I liked it.
Oh, okay.
But when I can do it for so much less money and I'm actually successful, that's really cool.
it's climbing its own mountain, to be honest.
It absolutely is. And is there I'd rather be doing than floors and drywall? Yeah, but it's still kind of cool in its own way.
Yeah.
And when I get done, I can look back and go, I did that. Now I'm going to go do something else.
So you just sort of take things as they come. I'm a plan guy, and these guys will tell you, I needed a plan in order to leave my work, so I knew what I was going to do the next day. But it sounds like you're very organic and just going where you feel like you're being led to go, and why not?
Well, that's kind of like the job was the same way. You would show up at 6:30 in the morning for a shift change, and then your day was, you could have plans for that day, but they weren't happening. Because it all depends on who's calling and what their emergency.
So this is consistent with what you were doing.
Go with the flow.
Every day. Well, I'm going to stop doing this and go make this call.
And problem solving.
Yeah.
You probably love that.
Most calls are just that. They're just problem solving. What's the problem here? Well, the house is on fire. Well, we should fix that.
That's being comfortable in that environment. Yeah. Is something everybody else has to deal with. That's core to you. That's core to you every day.
Yeah, and when somebody calls us for an emergency, well, it's not our emergency. We're there to fix it.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about getting involved with other type of response things like the Red Cross, actually, Masters of Disaster?
I've pondered Masters of Disaster, but I just have not pulled the trigger on that yet.
What's holding you back?
Right now, drywall.
answer.
And
So focused.
next week it's going to be floors.
Floors, okay.
Yeah. Next week we start doing floors, and then we get back, and then we'll start doing some other stuff. But yeah, we got a 31-year-old house that is in need of major updating, so we're going to take care of that.
Have you talked to my friend Adam here? He has
We
a
have.
passion
Yeah.
for
We may have
doing
had
this with you.
we
You
have
got a
made-
company, you two.
We may have had him over to help us design some stuff, and then we realized we got actually some priorities that we got to do before we do some other stuff.
So let's talk about Joe Marie. You've been married for how long?
32 years.
32
It'll be
years.
32 years in December.
Okay.
December what? Damn. I'm sorry, dude. I did you dirty
18.
on that. I did you dirty on that.
18.
We're going to delete all of this.
You got it. December 18th. He got it. He got
He's
it.
going to delete it out of this.
No,
He's keeping
actually,
it.
I did that pause on purpose.
Okay,
December
good.
18th. is-
Good.
Yeah,
That was good.
So is Joe Marie still working?
she is.
How does that working out where you've got time, but a lot of time to yourself and she's off doing things? And is she going to be retiring soon or?
Nah, she's probably another 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Her job is, she is in charge of 5 pharmacies. She gets to do a lot of that remote. And when she goes out of town, I tag along on occasion.
Really?
Yeah.
What do? You're just a Uber driver or?
No, depending upon where she's at. She went to Akron a few months ago. I went up there, worked out, went golfing, picked her up at work, we drove home. She had a conference in Colorado to go to. I flew out ahead of her, actually learned how to acclimate, got my first 14er in on Mount Elbert, and the next day went to Denver, met her at Red Rocks, she did some hiking. So, yeah, and then we followed that up with our own vacation after the conference, too, out in the mountains of Colorado, some rafting, horseback riding.
I love how you're integrating your time into her work time
Yeah,
and that you're
it's-
there and you're doing stuff that you want to do. She's doing stuff that she has to do, but you then have this time together. I think that is really cool.
Love the drive time.
Yeah.
Honestly, she can actually get work done if she needs to while I'm driving. I drop her off at work. It's hunting season. There's plenty of hunting going on in Columbus.
Right.
She goes up there. I go take off in the woods for a few hours.
That is really cool.
One of the best ones we did was she had a weekend that she had to be in Columbus, and we did a Blue Jackets game and a Clippers game. Actually, a Clippers doubleheader.
Wow.
That's cool.
So she's been on this ride with you
She has.
from beginning to end. If she was sitting here, how would she describe her ride with you?
27 really good years. But the last 2+ have been just absolutely spectacular.
Awesome.
She came into a relationship much, much earlier than I did. And she's just enjoying this ride. We went to couples camp last year. We went to the prayer tent, and she just fessed up. I am so jealous of you. I'm like, why? Because you've got this newfound thing that I've had for 20 years, and now we're all in. And it's just making me a little jealous. So it has been, the fact we communicate honestly like that, we decided we need to start giving each other grace because, well, couples fight.
Yeah.
With this house remodel, we resorted to getting mad as opposed to praying first. That was a revelation at Revival. Hey, instead of getting mad, let's pray. And then we get mad.
Who's going to lead this prayer?
So, Bill, I think I mentioned to you recently, and I want to say it for a bunch of our friends that are going to be listening. You know, you've been at this side of it relatively short period of time, and already, like in less than 2 years, realistically, you have so many people in your downline that are out there doing cool stuff because you led them through it. I did my first, this past fall was not my first man camp, but it was my first man camp as a trip captain. And I learned how to be a trip captain from my trip captain, you.
I was hoping you weren't a trip captain because I was so bad at my job.
No.
You're like,
No.
oh, this guy's terrible. We cannot let him do it again.
To be honest, I didn't want to do it. I just wanted to be in your group because you're an amazing trip captain. But I felt like you built into me, and I felt a responsibility to go carry that forward for somebody else and enable the others to have, a good experience. But I'm one, and you've got a lot of people that are out there doing hard stuff because of succeeding at hard stuff because of the example that you've been to a lot of people. And you're so humble about that. You'll disregard what I'm saying now mostly, but the truth is you've accomplished a lot in a very short period of time for the kingdom. And I don't want to say you've got a lot to be proud of, but a lot of people are proud of you.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah, a lot of people are inspired, edified. I think in a lot of ways come closer to their walk with the Lord because of the influence you've had in their life. And I still think you would jump out of a plane without a parachute for me, but I'm grateful for our friendship. You are a good example to my marriage and your relationship with Joe Marie. You're a good example to me as a servant, and I think you're a wonderful friend, and I'm really grateful to have you in my life.
Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. And it feeling is absolutely mutual.
Cool.
This has been an incredible ride for 2 years, and yeah, I'm gonna start crying.
Well, let's not. I don't want to see you crying. There's no crying. There's no crying in podcasts.
No crying.
Are you crying? There's no crying in podcasts. Come on.
Certainly not redirect.
Not this
Not
one.
ours.
So I have 3 questions to sort of wrap this up. If you have a message to someone that's in a first responder mode, and that to me includes doctors and nurses and all of that, learnings that you have from that you want to share. Next then is the advice that you could give to people that are going through hard times and what that might be, as well as what you want to get out of the next 40, the next 30.
Thinking, let's see, I'm 50. How old am I now? 60. I'll be 60. I'm 60 this month. Holy cow.
Yeah, a couple
I'm
weeks.
Could be at 100. And yeah.
Well, he talks
Young
about the 100
guys.
number. That's
Young
what he's
guys.
talking
I'm
about.
going 85, maybe.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Anyways.
Well,
So first one, let's talk up to the first responders that you've had in your learnings and where you are now. What advice could you give to those people that are dealing with things that most people don't really know what they're
So
dealing
when I
with?
first started, quick overcap of my faith. I always treated God as an insurance policy just in case he was real. So that carried on through up until a couple of years ago, and I realized, wow, this is real. If you have faith, it seems like in the healthcare industry, it's not as talked about as it was, say, even 10, 15 years ago. I mean, I remember having doctors pray with us before surgery. Now that just apparently doesn't happen. Fortunately, I've not had surgery since 2017. Always keep God with you. You could pray to yourself. It doesn't matter. Turn it over to God. Turn that patient, turn that baggage you've got, turn it over to God. He's got it. Next question.
Next question was as you faced struggles yourself when you separated yourself from work, the troubles there, what advice would you give to a person that is dealing with how to transition and sort of lost?
After your honeymoon period, which you will have, find something else to do, whether it's a hobby. I had every intention of getting a job after I retired. I was going to take a few months off. I was going to do some cool stuff and go get another job. Just give myself something to do. As it turns out, that didn't happen because of COVID. I volunteer at church. We do a couples group on Tuesday night. That's Tuesday night, 6:30, 8 o'clock at Oakley. If you're a couple and you want to join, please feel free to just stop by, see if you like it.
And if you need some information, info@redirect-u.com.
Find something to do. And just keep yourself busy. Do some drywall. Learn how to skim coat. It is a skill that we're going to find out this weekend if it actually worked.
would you say it's character building?
It really is. Because after about 2 8-hour days of skim coating, it's like, my goodness, how do people do this every day?
The trial of your faith works
My
patience.
hands are numb. I'm covered in drywall dust. I'm just spitting the stuff out. It was not fun, and I really have a greater appreciation for people who do the building trades.
So you're not walking on stilts yet.
No, that will not happen because, well, I would end up having a head injury.
Well, for me with drywall, I'm not going to do anything. The closest I'm going to get is wax on and wax off.
My wife has got a picture of her on stilts when she took the new job. They were building the pharmacy, and she had to go sit in the construction zone because it was a licensed pharmacy, no drugs, but she had to be on site while the construction workers are there. So she's like, there's only so much continuing ed I can do. So she went to the drywall guy. Do you mind showing me how to use those? And next thing she knows, she's up there. She's doing some I maybe shouldn't say this because of the unions. So my wife may or may not have been on stilts putting the drywall. I cannot confirm nor deny that. And
So you're going out, you try something new, experiment, have fun, have an adventure, as Dale always loves to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be anything great.
Yeah.
I mean, in your own mind, it's just find a hobby. Hunting's cheap.
Yeah.
Fishing is very cheap.
So the last question I have then is, what's your purpose for the road ahead, which is the best time of your life because of all the things that you've got going for you right now?
Because I've got life experiences and plenty of life to live.
Yeah.
Honestly, I want to do the Appalachian Trail. I really want to try to through hike it. I'm trying to figure out how I can get my wife involved in that somehow or another, because I don't want to be away from her for 5 or 6 months. But if I could get her to come down every 3 or 4 weeks, we'll figure that out. That's long-term logistics. But
So you have read Walk in the Woods by Bill Bryson.
I have.
You have. That will spur you on. That's the inspiration.
It is.
Give it to Joe Murray.
I've done some section hikes, and the trail is amazing, and the people you meet on it are just incredible.
Yep.
And as Adam confessed that you would jump out of an airplane for him
Without a parachute.
Without a parachute.
Without a parachute. In a
He'd
heartbeat.
figure it out. He'd figure it out.
Maybe Adam would come and camp with you on your trek on the Appalachian Trail, and then you have that opportunity to share a tent.
Actually, funny you say that. Dave McManus is also interested. You could be our driver.
Well, hold on now. Don't the disrespect right there.
They don't think you can handle the woods, Adam.
Right there in the.
I have seen you with your wagon.
No,
there are no wagons on the Appalachian Trail. All right.
I think we got to go.
You put a backpack on and you carry everything in a backpack, and that's it.
Thank you very much for spending time with us and sharing your life and sharing where you are now. And I have to admit that I too enjoy you, and I appreciate what you have opened my eyes and ears to learn more about you. And I thank you for your story today.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm happy to share.
And I hope that we all get a chance to appreciate our EMS and firemen and policemen more based on this conversation, because it's a big deal.
And we'll catch you next time on the Redirect Podcast.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Redirect Podcast. We would like to thank the University of Cincinnati 1819 Innovation Hub for allowing us to record our episodes at the eSports Innovation Lab recording studio. Don't forget to tell your friends about the Redirect Podcast and have them follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Instagram. Want more information? Do you have a question for Curt, Dale, or Adam? Or would you like us to consider a topic that interests you for a future podcast? Send us an email at info@redirect-u.com. Remember, the journey isn't over. It's just redirected. There's purpose in your life. Find it and do something about it. Hey, I've got one more comment. The Redirect Podcast is presented solely for educational and entertainment purposes. We engage in an open, honest conversations about personal growth, life transitions, and the lessons we've learned through our own experiences. While we speak as experts in our own lives, we are not licensed therapists, medical professionals, or certified coaches. The content shared on the Redirect Podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the guidance of qualified professionals for any physical, mental, or emotional concerns that you may have. We're grateful to share this space with you and hope that our stories inspire reflection and connection. If you're in need of more support, we encourage you to connect with a trusted professional who can help.